see, right now, as it stands, you have this aura about you that makes you stand out. From the way that you dress, the way you articulate yourself, the way you are. Was it like that back then as well? So when you had acquired this money at 12 years old, 5 years old, and your teenage years, was you always looking for ways where you could stand out amongst the crowd?
You know what? No. No, I didn't ever. I think it's a natural product. How old are you? You're younger than me.
27,
Yeah, you're
basically.
you're younger than me. It's quite a lot younger than me. It's a natural progression if you follow the tenets that me and Andrew live by. Now we preach them, but before we preached them, we lived by them, of constant self-improvement. It gets to the point where you have companies that, as Andrew probably said, are upwards of $1 billion in valuation. You know, you're very smart, you've learned a lot, you've read a lot, you know a lot, you could speak very well. Over the course of years, all of my kickboxing training, I became the European kickboxing champion. I'm confident in the fact that I can protect myself and take care of myself. You evolve sort of and grow into the man that I guess you see today. It would be a very different interview when I was your age. I don't think I'd even made my first $1 million at 27. It was around about that time, maybe 6 months after, when I was just turned 28. So the confidence and the aura comes with time only if, and I'll stress this again, only if you do the work. Every single day, or at least 5, 6, 7 days a week, if you're constantly grinding, constantly trying to improve yourself, one day you'll wake up and everyone's like, wow, you're smart and well-spoken and you dress well and you've got a bunch of money, and you're like, well, it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it wasn't always like this.
No. The 13-year-old kid selling CDs in school was not necessarily a standout character. I'd only just started kickboxing around that time. I was just a pretty normal-ish kid. I wasn't even that big for my size. I didn't start growing till I was like 17. So I was
massive now.
I was normal height when I was 17. Then I met all my old school friends again when I was like 19, 20, and I towered over everybody. So I don't know. I didn't really stand out in any particular way when I was at school, apart from the fact that I had a slight American accent. That was the only thing that made me stand out.
Those things you learned, what was the skill sets you learned from starting those businesses at a young age? And do you think they stuck with you even till today?
I don't think I learned anything too important, to be honest. The main question I asked myself about those days and those little, let's call them hustles that I ran when I was a little kid, is why did I do it? I don't know why I did it. And the only explanation I can give in parallel to my life today is the same answer to the question, why don't I retire? I could retire, delete my presence from the internet. I have enough money to live for the rest of my life. Why don't I retire? Probably for the same reason I was selling bubblegums. I don't know exactly what the motivation was. I just felt I was good at it and I had to do it.
Why stop this?
Exactly, and why stop this? And now the business that I run isn't hustling people for bubblegums. It's a business that, I mean, my main business, the real world, the online school we run, helps countless people. I mean, thousands of interviews I've done and posted them online of young people making insane amounts of money from just, using the program, learning the skills and applying them in the real world, no pun intended. So now I feel like my mission is greater than the business itself. So, no, I don't know what I learned back then. I learned lots of lessons working a bunch of crappy jobs, for sure.
Did you work jobs?
Oh, did I work jobs? Yeah, I worked loads
Well,
of
like
jobs.
retail jobs and stuff, yeah?
Oh, fast food jobs.
Okay, fast food jobs, yeah?
I did 6 months in the McDonald's drive-thru. I worked 3 years in a pret-a-manger store in Luton Airport making sandwiches. So if you guys
Luton
ever...
Airport as well, that's a proper shithole.
If you ever...
Sorry.
Oh, terrible. No, you're completely right. So if you ever fly from Luton Airport, just before you get to the departure gates, the ones on the left
I know
anyway...
exactly what you're talking about,
there's a big pret-a-manger store. When that first opened, I was one of their first members of staff at 15 years of age. I worked there for 3 years making sandwiches. So I've done the horrible jobs and I've done the fast food jobs. And it's those jobs, the real selling your time for money hour by hour, that teaches you the value of things. Even now, I jokingly laugh with Andrew when I buy things. I don't know what the numbers are, but I'll calculate like how many hours would I have had to work in that job to buy, say, the Bugatti. And it's something crazy like 310 years of constantly working at that sandwich shop. No hours off, no days off. So we're talking at like 4 human lifetimes.
Did you have any side hustles whilst working those jobs?
You know what? No, I didn't, because my effort wasn't wasted, though. I didn't waste my time because all of my spare effort went into kickboxing and kickboxing training. There were people at that store who were breaking rules of the store. Obviously, when you're allowed to take sandwiches home, they were selling them and stuff, but that could get you fired. And I was like, well, why sell sandwiches? I'll just go to the kickboxing gym. I'm making enough money. So it wasn't a side hustle, but I certainly wasn't wasting my time. When I preach to young men now, if you're working a job and you go home, no TV, don't play video games, limit your access to all sort of junk media, spend your time doing something productive. At least my kickboxing was something productive, even though it did. I guess it made me some money. I got paid to fight. So I guess that was a side hustle, but I learned so much more from that than I ever made financially. It wasn't a financial venture.
This is what I'm interested to know, because at the point where you're now working for someone else in retail, fast food, whatever the case may be, and then previously also having businesses, it's like, did you ever think to yourself, why am I here? I had this business. If I continued at it or started another business, I could be elsewhere. Did you ever look at yourself in those jobs and think, like, this is not me, I don't belong here?
Yeah, I knew I was wasting my time when I saw the caliber of some of the people doing the same job as me. Some of them were very nice people, some of them were not, but I will not pull my punches when I'm saying that a lot of them were morons, like absolute morons, people in their 30s who just achieved literally nothing with their lives, zero. And I'm sitting there and I know that I've got this big brain behind my young looking face. I'm sitting there making these sandwiches along with these idiots thinking, how is my time worth the same £6.90 an hour as his time? How am I using my body and mind to make these bloody sandwiches when people like this could be doing it? I should be manager. I should be running this place. I got a few promotions over the years, but my dream was never to manage a sandwich shop. So no, I quit for a sales job when I was about 19 for my first ever sales job.
What was the sales job?
I was selling television advertising space.
Oh, okay.
I would find companies that didn't advertise on TV typically, call them up and try to arrange meetings with, higher up people in my company who could close them for me because I looked too young. That was my problem.
So it's like cold call sales?
Yeah, cold call sales, which teaches you a lot. You get hung up on a lot.
Yep.
And nowadays I find with youngsters and people of the younger generation, they're too afraid to make a cold phone call. It's a daunting thing. You don't know what they're going to say, but you learn the lessons. The worst they can say to you is no. And at least with sales, you're in some way working for yourself. I learned lots of harsh lessons actually at the sandwich shop and at McDonald's. I learned lots and lots of very harsh lessons that I still, I guess, helped form my opinions that I still preach today. So I'm very glad I did it because it makes me, it makes me